Hey everyone, welcome back to Apollo Art Analysis. In today's episode, we're going to be studying a piece by the career 3D artist known as Stuz0r. And in this episode, we're going to be looking at gold as a symbol. We're also going to explore what it means to reminisce on the greatness which once was. So let's jump right into it. So whenever you first see this work, remember this large golden orb here in this massive monument or temple. Your first impression is likely one of awe due to the ornate and even grand sight before us here. And so one of the first things I noticed is placement in space here. We see this quite clearly, right? You have this massive orb, then we have this much smaller subject, both of which split the center of the work at hand. Of course, we see how the rather darker nature of the surrounding scene allows a light on dark accent to define form and draw our eyes with absolute ease. On that note, we see the element of gold within the work at hand, right? The colors within this work are this gray and this gold. There really is no doubt that this color-based rarity, of course, gold as the rarest color here, is going to elevate the visual and symbolic impact of its form. So you first see this work, your eye is instantly drawn to the gold orb, and that is by design, right? Another thing I notice is the impact of texture within the work at hand. We see quite a bit of contrast from, say, the rigid and smooth nature of our orb in comparison to the kind of hazy air all around, both of which immerse us so well within the work at hand. And so we see this grand sense of scale supporting the scene before us, right? This is incredibly important. It just dwarfs us instantly, and if this person is of regular size, it dwarfs them too. This no doubt provides a testament to the monumental moment which we're witnessing here. Yet what exactly are we witnessing? So we see this lone subject coming from the entryway of what appears to be a massive monument or temple of some kind or another. Like I said, they split the center of this work, so the eye is going to be revolving from the left side to the right side. Even, the use of red also draws the eye there. Red is always a very high attention color. And so for countless millennia now, the use of gold has been used to convey the ascendant and the divine. We no doubt see this as we see a symbol of the divine elevated to the most high, right? Everything from this grand sense of scale to the use of gold itself is going to convey the ascendant and the divine with absolute ease. And you may ask yourself, why is gold used to convey the divine? And that's because it represents the spirit of our sun, right? Anything that uncovers, that warms, that gives way to life, that, even uncovering as a metaphor to lost knowledge. There's so many different reasons why we use gold to convey the divine. And so within this work, right, we see the gold possessing this massive orb, which is elevated on this massive platform as well. This monument is it dwarfs us in every sense of the word, and it appears to be built in order to elevate the visual impact of this orb, right? The entire architecture of the scene at hand, kind of that rhombus or diamond shape, if you will, the steps leading into it, all of these intersect and elevate the visual impact of this sculpture or this monument, if you will. I think that's incredibly important here. But we see that the orb is cracked, and so that's quite interesting to consider. We have the use of gold, but it is cracked and kind of breaking apart. So we ask ourselves, what exactly is happening here? Perhaps we're watching the gold crack as time passes, the decay of the greatness which once was. So the piece before us is entitled Reminiscing. So we see this lone subject clearly entering to pay this monument a visit. They are reminiscing on the greatness which once was. Like we said, we have the gold, but it is cracked and decaying and deteriorating. So there's this immense sense of weight to the moment. We have the weight of the gold, we have the weight of this grand scene, this massive sense of scale, and then of course the weight of the moment, the lone subject coming back to pay this place a visit, all of which are incredibly relevant to the work at hand. Alright, so about an additional piece here, a digital render as well by the artist Brady Phillips. So in both instances, we no doubt see a use of a golden orb, and in both instances, there is this grand sense of scale and of course the medium of the digital render as well. But what's so interesting is one is distinctly different from the other. For example, in the work on the left by Stuz0r, we have this lone subject, of course, paying this place a visit and kind of reminiscing on the greatness which once was. Of course, this is before the fall, and then we look on the work by Brady Phillips, we see this lone subject entering this very dark and secluded temple, looking at the greatness which once was, but this is far after the fall, right? Everything is cracked, everything is broken, and it's even secluded in a temple which nature has clearly taken back. So in both of these instances, we see the greatness of gold conveyed symbolically, but we also have, say, a sense of rediscovery, and then of course, in Stuz0r's work before that. So this could very well be, say, a predecessor and then eventual scene after that. Imagine if the temple were to cave in, we'd see a scene much like this as they eventually rediscover that. So, like I said, it's always important to rediscover and revitalize that greatness as well. So, two stunning pieces, there is no doubt about that. I always love to bring in those insights. So yeah, I really hope y'all enjoyed today. Like I said, this is a profound piece. There is no doubt about that. It is a digital render. I briefly mentioned that. So the digital rendering program used here is going to be Cinema 4D with some assistance from the Octane render engine. So all in all, it does an amazing job of immersing us within an incredibly realistic scene. The digital render does that so well, right? So if y'all enjoyed today, make sure to check out the original artist Stuz0r. Like I said, doing some amazing stuff in the world of 3D art. At this point, a career 3D artist and a very popular and influential one, no doubt about that. So, like I said, I really hope y'all enjoyed today, and if y'all did, go check out the original artist. My name is Apollo, this was Apollo Art Analysis, and I'll see y'all on the next episode. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to support our work directly, please check out our Apollo community tokens. Apollo Art Exchange is an ecosystem of art appreciation which elevates artists each and every day. Thanks for listening.